We're going to have lots of fun in this video. I'm going to show you some exercises that you can use to stimulate your creativity and get the juices flowing, just to stimulate some new ideas. Now, the first thing I have here is to take the melodic rhythm of a well-known melody and repeat that pattern but change the notes over another chord progression. So here I have the rhythm of I've Got a Feeling, the first few bars of it. You're going to recognize the rhythm right away. I got a feeling tonight's going to be a good night. So you recognize it right away, even by the rhythm. But we're going to sequence this up with new notes, and I'm going to use a new chord progression as well. Let's move on to the next example, and here's what I came up with. I made up a little chord pattern, and I used that exact rhythm from I've Got a Feeling, but with different pitches. Let's listen. I'm not saying it's a brilliant melody, but it's an idea to get you thinking outside of your normal patterns. So I took the first 6 bars of I Got a Feeling, and the last bars I embellished and made up my own phrase to end off the whole vocal phrase with. But here I got a potential verse or chorus of a song. So the rhythm of a popular song with different pitches, and use any chord pattern underneath. You can even use the same chord pattern as you want as that song. In this case I didn't, but that would be an interesting exercise in that it would limit your possibilities more and force you to become more creative within limited confines. Let's move on to the next exercise. And here, I've done the opposite. I've taken the chord progression from a popular song and rewritten a new melody on it. In this case, these are the chords of the first 4 bars of Katy Perry's tune California Girls, but I've added extensions on and put in some extra notes to give it a new feel, and I slowed the tempo down. And this is a great way to get some mileage and stimulate your creativity. So you won't recognize this at all as being anything related to California Girls. The chords are A minor, B flat, C, and D minor. Those are the original chords. I added some sevenths on and an add note there. Slowed the tempo down and wrote a new melody. Let's listen. So take a well-known chord progression and write a new melody on it. Great exercise. And optionally change the tempo or some of the voicings. Let's go on to the next exercise here. Take that same melody that you just wrote. This is a kind of ping-pong exercise because you keep going back and forth. Take that melody that you just wrote and rewrite new chords underneath it. And then you can keep going by taking that new chord progression you've just written and then rewriting a new melody, and so on. So you can keep going until you've really crafted something unique and special that you really like and that has absolutely no relation to the original. So let's listen to this. I took that melody that I just wrote over those Katy Perry chords and I changed the chords. So now this has got nothing at all to do with that Katy Perry tune, yet it was inspired by an exercise using it. Let's listen. So that's a great exercise to stimulate new ideas, reharmonizing a melody. Let's go to the next one. Now here, what you can do is take a short melodic phrase and play it several different ways with different accents and different emphasis on strong versus weak beats. Now I took that little phrase that I used from I Got a Feeling when I took those first eighth notes and wrote a new melody to it. Do-da-do-da-da. So I used the new notes for my new melody, and here I am phrasing it several different ways. Let's listen. So those same little 5 notes phrased differently, changing the length. Some are syncopated, some are on the beat, some are off, some are longer, some are shorter. You can get all kinds of new ideas by doing these kinds of exercises. Let's move on. And the next exercise here, take a short melody that you wrote as an exercise, create a short melody. And again, I've used that same phrase. Then create an inverse version of the melody. If the original ascends, create a version that descends. That's what I've done. I've used that phrase up and then played it down. Another thing you can do is sequence the melody starting on a different scale tone. So I've repeated that phrase, but starting on a different note in the scale. Some of the intervals change as a result, but it's a way of getting more mileage out of it and implies and suggests some different harmonies that could stimulate ideas for chord movements. And third thing you can do is randomize and experiment with the order of the pitches used in the phrase. So let's listen to these. That's the original. That's descending. Sequenced up a third. So all variations here on that original little theme of those 4 pitches. So there you go, some really useful exercises to help stimulate your imagination. And I'll tell you a little tip that works for me. I find when I don't have any ideas and I want to get creative and push myself, I find imposing some limitations works best. There's a quote, I think it's by Einstein, "The absence of limitations is the biggest obstacle to creativity." When you just have a blank page in front of you, it's hard to come up with an idea. But if you force yourself into a corner, like say, okay, I'm going to take just this 4-bar pattern and write however many different melodies I can using 3 notes, and you limit yourself like that, you'll come up with some great ideas. Or I'm going to take 4 notes and harmonize it 5 different ways, and I'm going to use them in different rhythms and see what kind of chords I can come up with. Those are the ways to stimulate true creativity and get some building blocks that you can use as a foundation to build on. See you for more in the next video.